When I was young, my grandfather used to take my sisters and I to a local donut shop on Saturday mornings for breakfast and coffee. The air was always crisp, the sun was out, the warm smell of donuts enveloped the area. This particular morning, there was a young man outside the shop, who I now understand was homeless. To my surprise, at the time, my grandfather invited him into the shop to have coffee and a donut with us. Truthfully, I would have scurried past him had my grandfather not stopped. I was young, he seemed strange, you get the picture. While we were sitting there, my grandfather handed my sisters and I his car keys and said, "Go, get my coat from the trunk." We ran out to the car to find a multicolored bomber jacket from the 80s. Upon our return, he gave it to the young man and said, "Here, take this, it's cold out today." As an 8-year-old, I was shocked by the simplicity and selflessness of this encounter. While not my first time seeing an act of kindness, this has remained a core memory of mine that has informed much of my service work. Hi, I'm Anastasia Friesen, a genetics major here at the University of Minnesota, and this is my digital story. I'm originally from San Francisco, California. My mom, sisters, and I moved to Minneapolis in 2013 to be with my stepdad and siblings. We immediately joined St. Mary's Greek Orthodox Church upon our arrival, and this has been a place that has largely shaped who I am today. Growing up an Eastern Orthodox Christian, generosity and service has been at the forefront of my upbringing. My mom has always asked my sisters and I to practice our graciousness with each other and those around us. Throughout middle and high school, my friends and I would serve at Focus, Minnesota, make tie blankets for hospitalized kids, and care packages for college students. We spent every spring and summer at dance practice for our annual church fundraiser. With no shortage of ways to plug in, the seeds of volunteerism, service, and generosity were planted in me in those formative years. Getting involved in college was no more difficult than it was in high school. I jumped in as a summer camp counselor for my childhood camp, got involved as a participant in Orthodox Christian Fellowship, OCF, and started volunteering in healthcare settings to get experience. The seeds my parents, grandparents, and church community planted in me when I was young began to flourish. As a hungry pre-med, I spent my early college days volunteering at Fairview Hospital and doing bioinformatic research for the Minnesota Rare Disease Advisory Council. In my work, I was exposed to the shocking systemic barriers that patients with rare diseases face. Lack of physician education, lack of research, cost of treatment are all barriers to receiving proper care when suffering from a rare disease. Beyond the work I did for the council, my peers and I decided the best way we could advocate was creating awareness on campus. We founded UMN Students for Rare, a chapter of the National Organization for Rare Diseases, which educates students, residents, and physicians on rare conditions and systemic barriers to quality health care. When not participating in the medical sphere, I spent much of my time in my church community. I've continued volunteering at Focus MN and volunteered at St. Mary's Summer Camp as a counselor many times. I'm honored to conclude my time on campus as OCF's Midwest Student Leader. In this role, I've had the privilege of serving Orthodox college students around the Midwest and country. I joined the University of Minnesota's Community Engagement Scholars Program because I wanted to more deeply understand volunteerism and the role it plays in my life. In OCF, we discuss volunteerism as servant leadership. It's the act of humbling ourselves, listening, and giving based on people's actual needs, not giving based on my expectations or ego. Largely, it's about listening and loving in a way that honors the people in front of us. Thinking back to my grandfather giving his coat away, he sat with the man before giving him his coat. He saw the man as a person to be loved and honored, not as someone to be saved or pitied. It's hard to believe small acts of love like my grandfather's are as impactful as they are. In a time of overwhelming animosity, we are told that change requires striking down the whole system. We are told to invoke our rage. While grappling with societal pressure to change everything, CESP has provided the platform to conceptualize the role of service in society and challenge me to think differently. When we are engaged, thoughtful, aware citizens, service can be as simple as giving away our coats, serving at the food shelf, or raising money for charity. I've been deeply inspired by the impact of seemingly small actions my peers have taken to serve their communities this semester. They've tutored kids, made phone calls for missed appointments, and established a pen pal project. Instead of invoking rage, they've invoked love, connection, and kindness. By creating small changes that have large impacts to those around them, they have found small ways to empower the communities they are serving. Moving forward, I'm challenged to integrate my service work into my career. As a future medical professional, I know I'll be working in an imperfect system where I'll be called to serve in big and small ways. I look forward to making contributions to my community by advocating for and empowering those in my care. More broadly, I'm pursuing a vocation through which I can love the people I serve.